best way of thinking about the neocortex is to understand what it's building a model of the world. It turns out to know anything, to see things, to touch things, to understand sounds, to walk around in buildings, anything we do requires that the brain actually has a model of all these things in your head. And it's literally a model of the world. And that's the way to think about the function of the neocortex. And intelligence, in this point of view, is to say, like, well, how sophisticated is our model of the world? What does it include? What is the extent of it? So intelligence is all about this model building. When you have a model of the world, then you can act. You can say, well, how would I want to achieve something? And you can use the model in your head to say, well, if I did this, this would happen. If I did that, something else would happen. Or how do I get from the point I'm in now to the position I want to be in a year from now? And we can do this planning because we have a model of how the world behaves, everything in the world. So first of all, you make a good observation. Our inputs are very impoverished, right? You point to eyes. The eye is a highly distorted image that's projected to the brain. It's full of all kinds of holes and things that are missing, blood vessels and so on. And yet, and our eyes are moving all the time. So there's impoverished input, and our eyes are moving all the time. Yet the world seems rich and stable. And that's because what we perceive is the model in our head. We're not actually, we look out, we think we're perceiving the world as it is, but that's not really true. We're perceiving our model. And the impoverished input is how we build this model, and it's how we invoke the correct states of the model. So I have this impression that I'm in my bedroom right now, but I'm not seeing my bed, but I know it's there. How do I know it's there? Because the model in my head tells me it's there. I'm looking out at things outside, and I say, well, I think that's a part of a tree. I don't really know that, but that's the model in my head says that. Even something as simple as color doesn't really exist in the real world. Color is a fabrication of the brain. It relates to properties of the real world, but what's coming into your brain is just a bunch of neural spikes on neurons, and those spikes that represent different parts of visual aspect all look the same. There's no color coming into your brain. And yet I perceive this green or red or something like that. These are all parts of the model of the world that are in your head. So that's what we perceive.